more comfortable do you feel for a welterweight fight this time compared to last time?
Yeah, now I feel more comfortable, honestly. The first camp so hard. I just try to gain weight, do a lot of lifting program, but this camp it's I stay in the same weight. I'm not like go down. Now I'm like real welterweight, and this camp I think is more easy. But I don't. It's not. You cannot say this easy, but because we're not lifting much.
Mm. Yeah, how much, like looking back at your performance against Jack, how much better do you think you'll be in this fight?
Honestly, I watched the fight with Jack. I don't like this fight, because I want to be just double champ. I just fighting like just for the win. I don't do some things to finish Jack because I understood I win every round and just want to take the second belt. But if this like regular fight, if like we fight second times, I see I can finish him like every round.
What's different about your mindset this time, right? Because there's also a lot on the line here, the record, all the history, defending the belt in 2 divisions. There's a lot at stake here. Why is this different where you maybe will take more risks or chase the finish more?
Yeah, sure. This fight I will take more risk to finish my opponents because I like it. Finish my opponents, and this fight I think honestly from the first time when I'm taking him down I have chance to finish him because I saw his ground game. It's not so good. If you're not sleeping well last night, you're not gonna be 100% in the training in the morning. That's why discipline is the most important things. Everybody have same things, gyms, coaches, sparring partners, but who is a discipline more, that guy have more success. It's discipline. It's not about me. It's about it's all about my team. What our coach Abdulmanap give us all his life when he was with us. Just discipline. Come on time, like focusing, always training. Because one of the things, you can come to the training, sleep well in the morning, you can come and training is beginning and you still thinking about some business, some other stuff. You're not 100% in the gym. That's why even myself right now, like all like small businesses what I have people who take care, like my older brother, some of the guys, but I don't think about this business. I don't like check how it's working, how it's going, because I have to focusing in training.
Islam is paying attention. I truly believe that's because he has a real high level of respect for Ian Garry and Ian Garry's game. I love Islam. I think he's very smart. I think he's very thoughtful because he's paying attention to the things that Ian Garry is saying on a number of instances. I know that the team respects Ian Garry a tremendous amount because of all the challenges he can present inside the octagon. Now, if he has done a good job of working on the wrestling, he gives himself a chance. But ultimately, I think for Garry to be successful, he has got to try to find range, and that's more difficult to do and easier said to do when you're fighting a guy like Islam who constantly is in your face and pressuring you.
Well, I think Islam would have to be a strong favourite, but I think Ian's going to give him some problems because Ian's a tall guy, he's got great jiu-jitsu, he's got great striking. Yeah, I think Ian Garry's going to give Islam a lot of problems.
Okay, but is that enough problems to defeat him, or do you think Islam still takes him?
Yeah, I think Ian Garry can win. I think he can walk away with it, to be honest.
Islam. I don't see anybody who can stop him right now in this division.
Скоро 35. Он же с первого года, да, получается? 91 октября, скоро 35. Все вместе, стилистический возраст, это все, я считаю, что будет тяжелый бой. Ну, не легкий бой. Ну, я всегда их готовлю к тяжелому бою. И Умара, и Усмана, и Ислама. Я им всегда говорю, на вас, ребята, настаиваться, что угодно. На вас, ребята, вес, уже у них энергетика. Все, если они проявят себя против вас, они становятся сразу автоматически звездами. Так что
Давление на сильном.
давление будет очень сильным. Бой будет тяжелый, я считаю так. Ну, имеется в виду, если сразу не финишировать, да?
Да.
Если 5 раундов драться, все 5 раундов находиться с этим соперником будет нелегко внутри клетки. Будет тяжелый, во-первых, тренинг. Почему? Потому что надо такого соперника найти. Да, который будет вот так же бегать. Вот так
таких немного, да?
Немного. Особенно в этом весе их немного. Ты скажешь, что ничего не надо практически менять. Надо за ним бегать, собирать его, валить и там уже...
Oh, the Irish versus the Russian. You saw how big that was the first time that happened, and we want to do that again. To where
He's a Chinese Conor McGregor. He's a Chinese version, knockoff version of Conor McGregor. He's not Conor McGregor. He doesn't fight like Conor McGregor. You like it or not, Conor was a bad dude at one point. He's one of the best fighters ever at one point. Let's be real. This guy, he runs. Conor fight. This dude doesn't even know how to talk. He doesn't know how to talk, honestly. I speak better English than him. And his English is first language. Brother, Ian Garry has lost his balls. And he will lose everything August 15th. Mark my word. This dude talking about finishing people. This guy lost 11 fights. He have 9 decisions. Islam lost 11 fights, have 8 finishes. This guy, the only thing he finishes, you know, I'm gonna keep it at that.
Hey, it's a family show, Ali. It's family show.
Yeah, I don't know. You know,
No, I want to know what he finishes, Ali.
Of course you do.
Coca-Cola.
No.
Listen, I don't know, man. This guy, he, you know, listen, they are complete opposites. One guy said the woman should run the world, the wife is the household of the woman, and you got a guy from Dagestan, you don't even see their wives. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And you know what? It's a good point that they're two separate guys, two completely different.
Obviously, you and Khabib have worked together now for a while, but having Islam Makhachev a part of that coaching experience with you, that must have made you proud just to see his mentorship and the impact that he has on the fighters in the gym.
Well, he's always had that mentorship, and he's always been with us in the corner when he wasn't fighting. So this is not the first time I've had Islam in the corner with me. No, we've had him numerous other times in the corner with us. Just probably people don't remember, but he's been in the corner with us quite a few times. He's an exceptional corner, and he cares. You know, he's a champion with a heart that cares about his guys. And you know, he did the same thing Khabib did when Khabib used to do sparring, and then he was done with sparring, and he knew some of his other brothers would come and spar. Khabib wouldn't go out and train. He'd watch the sparring and give advice. That's Islam, the same thing. Same thing. So they're following the same footprints as each other. And, you know, it gives me a lot of joy to see this from these guys because they're giving back for what they got back from their guys. Like what Habib's father gave to Khabib, you know, Khabib is giving back to his fighters. What I gave back to them, they're giving back to their fighters. So it's kind of like one of the family things, you know. We follow the traditions of the people that taught us.
At the welterweight championship level, the distance game becomes a finite resource. When Islam Makhachev steps into the cage with Ian Garry, the core technical conflict centers on one fundamental problem. How does a fighter maintain positional leverage when facing a taller opponent with superior reach, while that opponent simultaneously controls the angles of entry into close range? Islam's dominance at welterweight rests on a specific technical foundation. His grappling entries don't begin from desperation. They're built on constant forward pressure that removes the opponent's ability to reset distance. The mechanism is straightforward. By occupying the space where Garry would normally establish his stance, Islam forces the engagement into zones where his wrestling entries become more effective. His clinch control game, specifically his ability to tie up the collar tie and transition into body lock threats, turns lateral movement into vulnerability. When Garry attempts to use footwork to escape, Islam's hand placement and weight distribution makes that lateral step into a setup for either a single-leg takedown or a foot sweep. Garry's striking from range is legitimate. His jab-cross combinations have real snap, and his teep kick creates momentary separation. But Islam's pressure strategy accounts for this. By closing distance before Garry's strikes fully load, Islam negates the setup phase. The Irish fighter's natural inclination to step back and reset distance after striking combinations plays directly into Islam's rhythm. Each retreat is an entry point. The submission sequences Islam uses reflect years of refined grappling progression. His arm trap threats from top control aren't just threats, they're position-building mechanisms. By creating the arm trap setup, Islam controls Garry's crossface defense. When Garry extends his arm to escape the arm trap position, that extension shifts his shoulder angle, creating substrate for either a Darce choke or a guillotine transition. The sequence isn't random. Each movement builds the next. Garry's jiu-jitsu defense will face Islam's back-control geometry. From the back, Islam's grip placement emphasizes control over pure finish attempts. His hooks stay connected to the hips rather than extending for the traditional figure 4 leg lock, because his primary objective is movement denial. By denying movement, he eliminates Garry's ability to work frame-based escapes. Only after movement is eliminated does Islam escalate finish intensity. The clinch game becomes instructive here. Islam's collar tie work includes a specific detail. His elbow positioning maintains both control and prevents Garry from turning into him. When Garry inevitably tries to clasp hands in the clinch to negate the collar tie threat, Islam's other arm is already generating inside control, either a body lock or a near-arm control that prevents hip escape. This is textbook clinch architecture. Garry's height and reach create legitimate problems within striking distance. His straight punches have optimal geometry at range, and his kicks from distance dictate Islam's forward movement timeline. The technical question isn't whether Garry can strike. He clearly can. It's whether he can consistently establish that range without inviting takedown entries. Islam's solution is pressure-based distancing. By moving forward with purpose, Islam forces Garry into reactive mode rather than proactive striking mode. Reactive strikers lose their timing windows. Wrestling transitions represent where this matchup becomes tactically dense. When Islam initiates a takedown attempt, his follow-up sequencing depends on Garry's defensive response. If Garry sprawls, extending his hips back, Islam's trained counter involves an immediate collar tie transition, shifting the action into standing clinch work rather than continuing the failed takedown. This keeps Islam in position to make the next entry. If Garry attempts to defend with an arm drag, Islam's footwork positioning makes the finish on that arm drag conversion difficult for Garry to establish cleanly. The foot sweep becomes Islam's most efficient entry when Garry commits to lateral movement in the clinch. By timing Garry's step with precise lower body positioning, Islam doesn't need explosive power. The mechanics of Garry's own movement creates the finish. This is technical efficiency, using the opponent's energy rather than opposing it directly. Garry's wrestling pedigree isn't insignificant. His takedown defense mechanics are structured. But Islam's takedown attempts aren't isolated techniques, they are integrated sequences. After a failed takedown, Islam stays low, creating continuous forward pressure that makes Garry's positioning increasingly unstable. By the third or fourth failed takedown attempt, Garry's base has been compromised by accumulated positional shifts, and Islam's entry on a later attempt becomes cleaner. The submission threat landscape favors Islam's positional advantages. From top control, his arm in guillotine isn't just powerful, it's accessible because of his pressure methodology. By keeping Garry pressed against the canvas rather than allowing him to create space with frame hands, Islam's arm in angle becomes geometrically sound. The squeeze doesn't need to be brutally hard because the positional leverage is already established. Control of posture becomes another key variable. When Islam controls Garry's upper back and head position from top control, he doesn't allow Garry to establish the posture necessary for frame-based escapes. His hands work specifically to prevent Garry from getting on his elbows. This is position-first fighting. Islam builds immobilization before finish attempts. Islam's pressure wrestling creates cumulative damage. Each failed escape for Garry increases his fatigue percentage. Each incomplete defense improves Islam's timing on the next entry. After multiple failed takedown defenses, Garry's frame escape explosiveness degrades, which means Islam's finish sequences require less intensity. The clinch knee becomes available to Islam specifically because of his pressure methodology. By keeping Garry's guard width narrow through constant clinch control, Islam creates the geometry where the knee strikes land cleanly. Garry can't defend something he can't distance himself from. One technical element Garry would need to solve: Islam's hand placement throughout all ranges. Whether at long distance, mid-range clinch, or ground control, Islam's hand positioning eliminates Garry's conventional defensive frameworks. If Garry tries to frame, Islam's hands prevent the frame from being placed effectively. If Garry tries to tie hands, Islam already has collar tie established. This is complete range integration. Every zone flows into the next with controlled hand placement. The wrestling entry timing represents Islam's most critical variable. If he times entries to Garry's breathing cycles, specifically after striking combinations when Garry's breathing is elevated and his hip extension is less explosive, entries become statistically more efficient. If Islam enters too early or doesn't account for Garry's movement patterns, the takedown defense becomes more viable. Garry's distance management strategy would require absolute consistency. Any momentary lapse in footwork positioning, any single step that commits him too far forward, becomes the entry point for Islam's clinch establishment. Islam's pressure is relentless specifically because it doesn't reset. It accumulates positional dominance in overlapping sequences. This matchup represents a fundamental technical conflict: pressure wrestling and clinch control architecture against range-based striking and distance management. One is built on accumulation, the other depends on precision and consistency. The technical framework Islam brings, his grappling entries, his clinch geometry, his submission sequences, his positional control methodology, creates a systematic problem that Garry would need to solve with equal technical precision. The answer to how this matchup unfolds isn't found in predictions. It's embedded in the technical details of how two fighters approach distance control, pressure application, entry sequencing, and positional management inside the cage.